Are you planning your first trip to Australia and wonder what things to do? Australia is massive with different weather seasons for each region. You could waste half your trip visiting the wrong places at the wrong time. In this video, I will show you the best things to do in Australia, when to visit each location and how to bring it all together in a realistic 2-week itinerary. Let's get started. So first up, let's talk about Sydney. This is where most international flights arrive, making it the perfect starting point for your Australian adventure. Sydney can actually be visited year-round, though December to February are the hotter summer months. My recommendation is to spend at least 2 to 3 nights in Sydney. This will give you time to explore the city properly with local tours, including the Opera House, the Harbour Bridge and those famous beaches like Bondi. But here's what most visitors don't realize. The Blue Mountains are only 90 minutes drive away. This World Heritage Site has dramatic cliffs, eucalyptus forests and those iconic 3 sister rock formations. It's absolutely spectacular and from Sydney makes a perfect day trip. So Sydney is your easy win. You can visit anytime, there's plenty to see and it sets you up perfectly for the rest of your trip. If anyone has more suggestions about Sydney, put them into the comments field below. So let's dive into a completely different location, literally. Now for the Great Barrier Reef. This is where timing is absolutely essential. Great Barrier Reef stretches over 2,300 kilometers or 1,430 miles along the Australian east coast. But the best location in my opinion is the far northern section around Cairns and Port Douglas. And here's the key, you need to visit between April and October. This is the dry season in the tropical North Queensland. Outside these months, you're dealing with the wet season, which means rain, humidity and potentially dangerous jellyfish in the waters. Not exactly your dream reef experience. So where to stay? If you can, base yourself in Port Douglas rather than Cairns. It's quieter, feels more local and the reef sites are actually a shorter distance from here. You need at least 3 to 4 nights for this region. But wait, there's more to this area than just the reef, and this is where it gets really interesting. You have the 𝗬𝗎𝗄𝗏 National Park, which is the world's oldest rainforest, and you can take the Kuranda Scenic Railway through the rainforest range. There are also Aboriginal cultural tours where you can learn about bush tucker and traditional customs. And here's something most people don't know. You can actually do an outback experience from Port Douglas or Cairns. The 𝗬𝗎𝗄𝗏 Caves area is about 3 to 4 hours going inland. It's classic outback country with ancient limestone caves. So if you're short on time or budget, you can tick off both the reef and get a taste of the outback from just one base. Now, before we continue, you might be wondering about Uluru, that massive red rock in the center of Australia that's on every postcard. Should you go? Let me give you my honest feedback. If you find this video helpful, please hit the subscribe button below to stay in touch for more helpful travel videos to come. Also, please tick that little like button as it helps our channel to grow. Thank you very much. Uluru, also called Ayers Rock, is absolutely iconic, but there are some realities you need to understand. First, Uluru is remote, really remote. It's right in the center of the continent, which means getting there and staying there is expensive, far more than the coastal areas. Secondly, timing matters. The best time to visit Uluru is during the winter season from April through to October. Outside these months, especially December through to March, the temperatures are brutal. I'm talking 40 to 45 degrees Celsius, that's over 110 Fahrenheit. Thirdly, and this is my personal observation, it's very touristy. During the peak season, you're dealing with large tour groups around you. So here's my recommendation. If you want the real outback experience and you have the budget, look further north, the Darwin area with the 𝗥𝗏𝗏 National Park and the Litchfield National Parks, offer incredible wetlands, waterfalls, crocodiles, and Aboriginal rock art that's thousands of years old. The Kimberley region further west of Darwin is even more remote and spectacular. But I'll get it, those areas require even more time and money, so for many first-time visitors on a 2-week trip to Australia, the outback portion becomes the most challenging part to fit in. We'll talk about my 2-week sample itinerary in a minute. Now let's talk about wildlife. Meeting a kangaroo or holding a koala, these are things many visitors to Australia want to do. Now here's a local secret. You'll find kangaroos everywhere in Australia. For many Australians, they are considered a pest, but I'll get it, for you, they are a novelty and part of the Australian dream. So where's the absolute best place to see Australian wildlife? My pick is Kangaroo Island. The island is located off the southern coast of Australia, about 30 minutes plane ride from Adelaide. It's called the Galapagos of Australia, and for very good reasons. You'll see kangaroos, wallabies, koalas in the wild, sea lions, fur seals, and incredible bird life. The landscape is stunning and the locals are friendly. The best time to visit Kangaroo Island is between October and April, but to do it justice, you need at least 3 nights on the island. And honestly, if you're on a limited time budget, I'll choose Kangaroo Island over Uluru every time. It's more affordable, easier to access, and gives you an authentic Australian nature experience without the mass tourism. Now about that road trip you're thinking about. Given Australia's vast distances and your limited time, there's only one road trip I would recommend for first-time visitors, and that's the Great Ocean Road. The coastal drive runs along the Victoria's southern coast between Adelaide and Melbourne. You've got the famous 12 Apostles, those dramatic limestone formations. Also have charming coastal towns, rainforest walks, and lighthouse viewpoints. It's absolutely worth it. But here's what you need to know. You will need at least 3 nights to do the road trip properly. Better yet, 5 nights. There are day trips available from Melbourne to the 12 Apostles, but this trip will take you all day. Now here's one more option that most first-time visitors don't even consider. Tasmania. If you're into hiking and stunning nature, Tasmania is like Australia's version of New Zealand. Cradle Mountains, Wineglass Bay, the Bay of Fires, these places are absolutely spectacular. The scenery is completely different from mainland Australia. You've got the mountains, pristine beaches, cool climate, wilderness, and fantastic food and wine. The best time to visit Tasmania is between October to April. You will need at least 4 to 5 nights to really get a taste of Tasmania. So if your interest leans towards hiking and dramatic landscape, Tasmania is yet another option worth considering. Alright, so how do we actually bring this all together into a realistic 2-week itinerary? Let me give you the framework. With this example itinerary, let's assume you're traveling in April, May or September, October, which are actually great times to visit Australia overall. So here are my key recommendations. Number 1, stay at least 2 to 3 nights at each location. Number 2, connect your chosen locations with domestic flights. Number 3, use transfers where it makes sense. For example, between Cairns Airport and Port Douglas, there are regular shuttle services, so you don't need a rental car for every destination. So here's the sample 2-week itinerary. Start with 3 nights in Sydney, explore the city and do the Blue Mountains day trip. Then fly to Port Douglas, spend 4 nights here. Do the Great Barrier Reef, explore the Daintree Forest, and maybe do the 𝗤𝗂𝗄𝗏 Outback experience. Next, fly to Adelaide and transfer to Kangaroo Island. Stay for 3 nights here and enjoy the wildlife and the stunning coastal scenery. Then fly back to Adelaide and do the 3 nights on the Great Ocean Road before heading back to Melbourne for your departure. Now that's 30 nights in total, covering the iconic experiences Sydney, the reef, incredible wildlife, plus some authentic moments away from the crowds. Now, could you swap Kangaroo Island for Tasmania? Absolutely. Could you add Uluru with a bit of extra time on budget? Sure. But this framework gives you the best of Australia without rushing, without breaking the bank, and most importantly, visiting each place at the right time of the year. So here you have it. You now know the best things to do in Australia, where to do them, when to visit, and how to bring it all together for a realistic 2-week itinerary. For more detailed planning, check out my 2 weeks Australia sample itinerary video up here. You also find a free downloadable travel planning sheet in the description box below, along with other links. Thanks very much for watching, folks. See you in the next video.